My name is Andreas Ullrich. I'm the global market leader passenger ship and ferries at Veritas.
Been a couple of points really in focus at the conference. Number one is the role of class in raising the safety game. And secondly, we've actually seen some very important case studies around cruise vessels, passenger ships. Let's start with the first one first. What have been your key takeaways around the role of class in elevating the safety game when it comes to especially marine batteries?
I think the role of class when it comes to batteries is mostly in describing standards, developing standards around the industry. Of course, with stakeholders. We cannot do it alone. We need partners to develop this. But I think it's key what we learned also these few days. Safety is paramount also for the batteries, especially to de-risk the operation.
Do you think class can do more in this area?
I think class can always do more. The question is what and when, and it depends also on resources. And as you know, we are also in the learning process with the new technology.
In terms of learning process, we had some very interesting early stage case studies presented around passenger ships. What were your key takeaways from those?
I think passenger ships are large assets, and you need energy demand is very high. So we have to look at the options we have in the market. Battery is one, but only in combination with other technology. That is what we learned also when we saw the example from Aida Prima. It's a 10 megawatt. But when you see the power demand of the ship as such, it's not much, but it can help to become a greener future, also in this segment.
Are you finding more and more inquiries are coming in when it comes to passenger ships and alternate powering options, whether it's hybrid electric or hydrogen fuel cells?
Yes, of course, we see the same. Of course, all the new projects are looking in new technologies, in batteries, alternative fuels, methanol, not ammonia. Ammonia is too risky for passenger ship, but methanol, they look also in hydrogen, they look in e-fuels, biofuels, and there's also now demand for nuclear. But it's a very early stage what we learned as well. But I also believe we have to look in every aspect. We cannot exclude any solution which might be possible.
And passenger ships are your speciality. And again, coming back full circle to the safety argument, we heard today how vulnerable some of these passenger vessels are. And the question came up, what if there's an incident with a ro-ro vessel in the Atlantic? How do we cope with one of these new power configurations?
I know. I think this doesn't apply only to ro-ro ships. It might also apply to cruise ships. If you have these large battery installation, we know the risk is there, and the risk will remain there. What we can do is only to mitigate the risk. And I think the battery manufacturers do a lot. Together with Glass Society, they do the risk assessment with the flags in order to really mitigate the risk. We'll never go to zero. What we are still missing is a solution to extinguish a battery fire if it starts. There's development on the market, but I think it's too early to say what might be the solution. At the moment, it's a mix of cooling down and preventing spreading. And of course, getting all the toxic gases out of the room in a safe way.
You speak about things being too early. We heard in the last panel that every year people seem to be saying we're 5 years away from a solid state battery. What's your outlook?
Oh, this I'm not an expert, so a solid state battery, I know the discussion and it will continue on, but I'm also skeptical that we see this in the short term, at least in a larger scale. So the small scale might be possible, but larger scale, I don't think so.
And finally, here we are in Bergen, approximately the halfway mark. How have you found the event?
It's very interesting. It's very complex. You covered at the first day hydrogen, day 2 and 3 as batteries. And I think they work together. I understood that you want to split, but I learned a lot these 2 days already. What I miss a little bit is about sharing of practical examples. What they have gained from using this technology. What was the investment? What is the return of investment? What is the weight implication when putting the systems on board? All these things. I think at the opening speech, you mentioned all these things. But this I have not seen right now.